Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we'll be taking a look at the 10 things that will happen when the Queen dies.
Are you well?
Thank you very much. I'm still alive.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're going to be looking at the events that will immediately follow the death of Britain's longest reigning monarch, in the order they'll happen. Number 10. London Bridge is down. There's already a strict procedure and plan in place for revealing the death of the Queen to the world, beginning with the Prime Minister, other Commonwealth leaders, and ultimately the editors of the country's news outlets. It's called Operation London Bridge, and the phrase "London Bridge is down" will be used to covertly transmit the news. Though now everybody knows what the code is, it's probably not going to stay a secret for long. We can't imagine how it will feel for the PM, whoever they may be at the time, to answer the phone and hear those words, knowing the country is changed forever. Number 9. Breaking the news. After the world leaders are informed, the duty will fall on many news outlets to reveal the news to the British public. Upon the death of His Royal Highness Prince Philip in 2021, the BBC interrupted all its scheduled broadcasts to break the news, and it's safe to say that will happen again. All of the UK's major television stations will be given the message at the time via obituary lights that provide warning that the schedule needs to change for an emergency bulletin. Morbidly, newspapers already have their front pages for the Queen's death sorted, so that they can go to print as soon as possible. It will also be announced via a notice placed in front of Buckingham Palace. Number 8. Media blackout. It's also been revealed that a social media blackout will be enforced by not only the royal family's major communication channels, like its website and the social media accounts of senior royals, but by the British government too. The government will put a hold on all non-urgent news stories and announcements, and government websites will display a black banner. It remains to be seen how much this will hinder the delivery of vital news to the public, as the political system will keep moving. It's also likely that you'll struggle to hear about anything else on telly, as there will be a huge number of documentaries to commemorate the life of the Queen. Number 7. Parliament will be recalled. All MPs will be expected to turn to Parliament so they can swear allegiance to the Queen's successor, which in this case is, of course, Prince Charles. This will happen the day after her death, and Parliament will also be expected to pay its respects. This will include both the House of Commons and the House of Lords, but then Parliament will be suspended for 10 days. Presumably, the governments of the devolved nations in Stormont and Holyrood will also meet, and you can expect the leaders of those prominent political parties, like the DUP and SNP, to also commemorate the Queen's passing. Number 6. King Charles. Automatically, Charles will ascend to the British throne, but we're not yet sure what his name will be. Though Queen Elizabeth didn't change her name upon taking the throne, her father, George VI, and many monarchs before him did. George VI's name was Albert. If Charles keeps his name, which is possibly more likely, as he's been known to the public as Prince Charles for the last 70 years, he'll be King Charles III. It's also tradition for the heir apparent to become the Prince of Wales, but this won't happen automatically. Charles will have to name Prince William the new Prince of Wales. Finally, we're going to have to get all our money changed so that it has Charles on it instead. Number 5. Royal Tour. You may expect that Charles won't embark upon a royal tour until after the funeral, but that's not the case. In fact, he'll almost immediately go on a brief tour of the devolved nations to ensure continuity between the British monarchy and the people of Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Prince Charles is no stranger to royal tours, as touring is one of the foremost duties of the senior royal family, and it gives the public the chance to get a little bit more used to the idea of moving on without the Queen as the head of state. While Charles is doing this, the Queen will be transported back to London depending on where she passes. Number 4. Britain will close. In addition to wall-to-wall news coverage and social media blackouts, many other parts of the country are expected to shut down too. It's currently estimated that for around 12 days, businesses like banks and the British stock market will shutter as we enter a period of national mourning. As well as that, the day of the funeral itself will be a bank holiday, so a lot of shops and other services will be closed as well. This will give the public plenty of time to make the pilgrimage down to London to pay their respects to the Queen's coffin, which will be placed in state in Westminster Hall for 3 days, open for the public to visit. Number 3. The funeral. Once Charles returns from his royal tour and after the Queen's coffin has been in state for a few days, the time will come for the funeral. This will be 10 days after her death and will take place at Westminster Abbey. The funerals of senior royals are generally huge events, though Prince Philip's coming in early 2021 was an exception. George VI's funeral back in 1952 saw tens of thousands of people attend, while millions of people watched Princess Diana's funeral on television. As we already said, it will be a bank holiday, leaving most people free to decide whether they'll watch or not. Number 2. The Commonwealth. Over 50 countries make up the Commonwealth of Nations, the coalition of former British territories, and it's something that has always been immensely important to the Queen. But without her to hold it together, it's possible that those countries will finally break away from Britain completely and get rid of the British monarch as their head of state. Ultimately, as much as Prince Charles would like to keep the Commonwealth intact, if those countries start voting to abandon the monarchy, there isn't really anything he can do. Only time will tell exactly how much the Queen's death affects these countries, and it's possible the Commonwealth would continue without a ceremonial head. Number 1. Charles's coronation. There were 16 months between the death of George VI and the coronation of Elizabeth II. This didn't mean she wasn't the Queen, but she hadn't had the formal ceremony until the following summer. Millions of people around the world watched the coronation as it was one of the first television events like this, but some had speculated that Charles's coronation won't be like his mother's. After all, Prince Charles will likely be in his 70s when this happens, and the world will still be reeling from the death of the Queen, as she's now the only monarch the vast majority of British people can remember. But it's clear that the coronation will be the last thing to happen. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.